Hello and welcome back to my channel. Apologies if my voice sounds croaky. I don't know why that is. I'm not ill. I don't think I'm ill, but maybe that's just the autumn vibe that I've got going on right now. So today we're going to be doing the downstairs bathroom makeover. I mean, it's not a bathroom. I don't really know what you'd call it because there's no bath in it. There's no shower in it. I guess in the States, this is what you would call a powder room, which to me and probably anybody else in the UK sounds wildly extravagant. But yeah, like a downstairs toilet doesn't sound quite so nice, but it's just a room for a toilet. And when we first moved in, I was quite surprised at how spacious it was. I mean, it's not crazy, but I felt like it was quite roomy for a room that you only needed to go to the toilet in. And then somebody told me, I think this was true, that in these new build houses here, there were stipulations that meant that there had to be a lot of room and space for easy access to a downstairs toilet. So number one, there had to be a toilet that wasn't up any stairs, and there had to be easy access, which also means that our hallway is quite big and spacious. So yeah, when I was told that, I was like, okay, I mean, that makes sense. You know, if somebody has a disability, needs to use a wheelchair, yeah, that would definitely make life a lot easier. So it just means that we get to enjoy a rather spacious toilet and hallway. It is essentially just a long rectangle, this room. So there wasn't really any kind of weird angles to work with, but it was just really dull, as with all of the bathrooms in this house. Really dull, the same grey weird mosaic lino on the floor that was in the main bathroom, if you've seen that video, and just white walls. There was a really horrible chrome kind of mirror situation, which I think, did it have a light in it? I don't know. It was grim. That had to go. It just wasn't anything. It wasn't anything. It was a very forgettable room. And actually, weirdly, this was the room that I felt most excited to do. I think because it was just quite plain and it was quite a small space, I thought that I could like put quite a bit of effort into the decoration, maybe adding some pattern, which isn't necessarily my natural comfort zone. And I actually ordered the floor tiles for this room like before we even moved into the house. Literally when I got the measurements on the first day, we got the keys. So yeah, I kind of wanted that English vintage look running through that room. So I kind of used the tiles as an inspiration. And when I say tiles, obviously you're going to see that they're not real tiles and they are renter friendly peel and stick tiles. So yeah, I was still trying to make the room as renter friendly as I could and work with what I had, because once again, it's another bathroom in the house that has lots of chrome fittings and just things that I wouldn't pick, but I had to kind of work around them, detract from them. Wow, I don't know what's wrong with my throat. Anyway, this makeover has been the longest in terms of like time from start to finish, not because I've been working on it solidly all of that time. It's just the room that I've done really small bits of and then done other stuff in the house and then come back to it. So I mean, I think I started this room in like January at the beginning of this year, and it's now October. And there's nothing complicated in there. It's been a very bitty process, but that sometimes is the case when you're decorating your house. And it definitely wasn't a room that, you know, was a priority. So having said that, I'm very glad that it's now finished. And to get an idea of what it looked like before, I'm going to show you the shots of when we first moved into the house. So the day that we got the keys, I will show you that now.
So I started with the unnecessary details, and I got this on Facebook Marketplace a while ago, and I just thought I would paint it black with this usual French chic paint that I use, just because I didn't really want the yellowy wood in the bathroom. So that was literally the first thing I did. And I also used a primer first to make sure it went on well. I also wanted to paint this peg rail that I'd had lying around for a while. So I also primed this, and then I painted it in the same colour that I anticipated painting half of the walls.
Well, hello guys. I am currently residing right next to the toilet. And you might be wondering why. That is because I am going to get cracking with the downstairs bathroom, because that's the bathroom that we end up seeing most of the time. So it has really been bothering me, I have to say. A little while ago, quite a while ago actually, I ordered some things because I thought I wanted to do some kind of wood paneling in here, but I wanted to make it renter friendly. And I came across these, which is like, I don't know how to describe them, like kind of foamy, like squishy, like foldable things. They actually look pretty good on camera, I have to say. In real life, if I can show you, got like a little bit of a sheen to them. Anyway, I was like, do you know what, that doesn't really matter, because I'm going to paint them with matte chalk paint, probably French chic, that's like suitable for bathrooms and it's waterproof and whatever. But how they sent it to me was all of them were folded in half, like deliberately. It wasn't that they'd been packaged and then got thrown around a bit. Well, actually no, they weren't even just folded in half, they were folded in quarters, obviously to make the parcel smaller. But why they didn't think about the fact that it was going to have like a massive crease down the middle, I don't know. Anyway, I got my money back, which is fine, but it didn't really help me with the whole situation. Because yeah, what I was going to do is, I mean obviously there's a radiator here, but I was going to, panel along here, and then I was going to use the other lot of my moulding that I used in the dining room. I ordered some more because I ran out, but I don't want to wind down. It's this stuff. So yeah, that's what I used in the dining room. It worked really well. So that was going to be kind of like along the top, if you see what I mean. I have to say, it looks quite nice on camera. I'm like, I wish they could have just sent it not folded. Anyway, there wasn't like a, oh sorry, that was a mistake. It obviously is just how they send it out, which is ridiculous, but there you go. So then I was like, okay, well, I have to rethink this. I bought extra of the textured beadboard wallpaper when I was doing the dining room, because I thought, oh, I'll do that in here as well. But that was when I was thinking that one of the renter friendly ways I was trying would work, and obviously it didn't work. You've seen that video? My solution is I still want there to be a colour panel, but instead of having the texture, I'm just going to do colour with the trim along top. So similar idea, but, and I was like, but also I can't really be bothered to paint like half of it, and then when we leave, like paint over that bit, and you'll probably be able to see, so we'll probably end up having to paint the whole room anyway. So I was like, let's go back to the vinyl. My trusty old vinyl. So I'm gonna do this along here, and then I'm gonna paint over the top of it, because apparently this French chic paint works on everything.
So turns out vinyling a wall is a little bit fiddly, and not in that it doesn't go on well, because it really does, but actually just because you've got a massive section to use if you're going to do something like this. So I just use the same technique as with the kitchen, using one of these spreaders, I don't know what they're called, just to kind of even it out, get all the air bubbles out. And I started from one end working to the other, and then when it came to the radiator, it was a bit fiddly, but I kind of cut around as I went to see where it was going to land. I'm going to use a radiator cover over this, so it didn't matter that it kind of stopped and wasn't so neat around the edge. So would advise a radiator cover for sure. Then I used the same hack as I did in the dining room. I used some painter's tape over a line that I had created through the top of the vinyl section, and then I put some really strong double-sided tape over the top, and then on top of that I stuck this bendy moulding, which works really well. And I just tried to make sure that it was lined up all the way along with the line that I'd created, because obviously it's bendy, so you don't want it to be super wonky. It can be a bit fiddly, but it's definitely doable. After I'd done that, I just went over the moulding with some primer just to make sure that any paint that was going to go on it afterwards was actually going to stick. And here it is. It's all complete in terms of the vinyl being up and the moulding, and I've primed all the moulding, and basically there were a few bits where it just sort of came away from the wall a little bit, and I just used a tiny little paintbrush and some strong super glue underneath to fix it back on. And here it is after one coat, looking a bit patchy, but good. I think because the vinyl really sticks to the texture of the wall, with the paint on, it actually just looks like painted wall. Everything's in our hallway at the moment. I painted this kind of under the sink cupboard in the same colour, which is stone rosy. Also the same colour as this in the hallway, which you may not have seen, and the same colour as, what's it called, the drawers in the kids' bedroom. And then over here I painted these hooks in that same colour as well, so those can go up. And this is a Facebook Marketplace find, and the top it's got like paint splats on, but it's okay because you're not going to see that bit. I've just dusted it down. It is like a little bit, you know, it's not perfect, it's not in pristine condition, but I kind of like that. And that is going to go in the corner just there, because it's kind of just an empty corner at the moment. Actually, this it's been here so long that I almost just forgot, like I just forget it's like part of the hallway now. But this is a radiator cover that I got off Facebook Marketplace a while ago, and basically the reason why it's been sitting here is that I've asked my carpenter friend if it was possible for him to kind of trim it down, because this is basically, like, they do standard sizes throughout, so this is the small, and even though it's small, this radiator is like a radiator for the borrowers. It's tiny. I don't know why it's so diddy, but I wanted to make sure it didn't stick out quite as much, so I've asked for it to be trimmed down the back, and then also it didn't need to be as high as it was, so some off the bottom of the radiator cover. But I'm going to paint that in the same as this, and that is why I've left this bit that probably looks pretty crude right now, but that's not going to be visible. Coat number 2, and I just taped off the top, even though I fully anticipate I will have to go back with a small paintbrush over it to neaten it up. Okay, so here we are, the peel and stick tiles. I'm just working out how to lay them all down, and as you can see, just making templates for those corner bits that are a bit tricky and then cutting them with a scalpel. It's the same as how I kind of worked it as in my main bathroom video makeover. And what's really important with these is just to make sure that the pattern is lined up properly and it's going to repeat evenly. It was a bit hard to remember to do that the whole way around. Definitely had to rip up a few because I got it wrong, and probably nobody would notice, but I would. So I'm a perfectionist. So I knew I had a bit of a blank corner in the bathroom and I wanted to put a nice vintage rustic looking stool. These were kind of my inspiration ideas, but these kind of milking stools can be really pricey online. So I decided that I was going to make my own. I bought this stool from Facebook Marketplace for like £5, and then I sawed off the bottom half of the legs so that it was much shorter. And this was really easy to do just with a hand saw, to be honest. And then I just roughly sanded it all. Didn't get too precious about it because I wanted it to look rustic. I'm actually just using a sanding pad from a sander, but not the sander itself because I didn't want it to be even, as I said.
Okay guys, it's genuinely been quite a long time since I've done anything in this room. I think this is probably one of the longest makeovers that I've done, as in like, not that it's taken me the longest because there's so much to do, just it's been spread out over the most amount of time. But anyway, I am back in here today and I'm going to try and get done the last remaining things. Right now, I'm going to start by doing the window, which I'm going to do in the same way as I did with the upstairs bathroom, which is to cover the outer bit in black vinyl and then use black electrical tape to kind of make a crystal effect on it. I think it looks quite nice upstairs. It's done quite well in terms of it's still all intact, and I mean that's the room that gets sort of like the most kind of steam because it's got an actual bath in it. So yeah, I think I'm going to do it in here, and I think it might just like tie in some of the black from the rest of the room quite nicely and hopefully make it look quite cohesive. I think I always put off jobs like this because when I do something, I don't mind trying it for the first time. And there's like this exhilaration of, is it gonna work or isn't it gonna work? Is it looking good? It like, I don't know. I'm a pretty lame thrill seeker really, to be honest. But when I've done it before and I know it works and I know it looks nice, I'm like, great, but I don't want to do it again. You know, I don't want to redo it somewhere else. That doesn't sound like fun to me, but I know it'll be worth it in the end. And, you know, it'd be nice to get this room finished, like, not a year on after I started it. Okay.
Okay, so this curtain rod has actually been up for ages, just sat there waiting for me to actually shorten the curtain that I was going to put there. I did change my mind and think actually I want to use some kind of like blinds, maybe like a sort of natural texture blind, but the brackets are too close in, and so if we got a blind then they wouldn't be able to hang fully covering this indented window space, so that wasn't well thought through. But in terms of the actual window, I'm going to do the same as the upstairs bathroom, which you can see in that makeover, which is just cover it in vinyl and then create a crystal effect with some electrical tape. I just marked out the points that I needed, and for this window I actually just did a single cross.
Right, so I finished the window and now I'm gonna do the curtain, just one curtain like in the upstairs bathroom, which I'm gonna like draw to the side. But yeah, I'm just gonna get the length because again, this needs to be trimmed and hemmed. So yeah, I'm just gonna like pin it and then go and iron it and sew it on the sewing machine. Ba-ba!
I was responsible for delivering the essence of the Topshop brand. You've got the festal seal up here.
So, Nick put my light that I got for my birthday up at the weekend, which is really cool. It's a vast improvement from what I had there, which was like my temporary fix. But look how beautiful it is. Ooh, just nice and pretty and just a bit more of a statement because it's quite like, you know, blank and white as you go further up the room. So really excited. Just been collecting together some of the stuff that I got thrifting to kind of style up the space, and this pot was one of them. I filled it with some things that I literally picked from a bush outside, which, you know, they looked interesting, so I put them in a pot. And then I've got this that I made in a previous YouTube video actually, which I'm just using for my diffuser at the moment. And then I've been slowly collecting a lot more old books, and I just thought these looked quite nice together in the colour palette. Some are from a seller on Etsy, and then some are from various charity shops. I think all of the, is there another, so all of these ones that relate to like fishing, those are all from the same charity shop, which is amazing. They do loads of really old books in pretty good condition for super cheap. And then I don't know, I got this a while ago. This is actually a really cute little book full of Turner artwork. You can't really see. So I got this old pot from a charity shop, and I just thought it was quite nice and like quite organic, like it's not an even shape, and I just like the look of it. And then I found these faux olive branches in like, I want to say pound stretcher, like one of those super cheap places when I was in there for something really random. And they came in like little pots, and I basically just pulled them out the pot, and then I think I got 2, and then I like pulled off the fake stems and I just put them in the pot, and I think it is quite nice. Quite nice indeed. I just added this artwork above here because I just felt like it needed something else up here. It was a bit blank. So this was a thrifted frame, and then it came with this really nice mount, which I was very excited about. And I actually liked the picture that was in it before, but it just didn't really go with the room. So I put that print in it. And yeah, down here I've finally filled this little vintage glass frame that I got with some flowers that I tried a long time ago. And yeah, I got this, and I'm sure I had an idea of what I wanted to put in it, but I can't remember what it was, so I need to try and remember and like actually make use of it.
So I totally got this ginormous frame for, I think it was 25p, because it was from a free shop. Literally the shop said free. It's like a charity shop, but you could just make a donation if you wanted to, but you didn't have to. But yeah, it's like huge. It's the biggest frame I own, I think. And then I just had this, which is some North Prince, I think, artwork printed. Because my printer is great, but it doesn't go that big. So I've just got that back, and I'm just gonna put it in the frame, give the frame a bit of a clean up, and see how it looks. I got this plate from a charity shop, and I'm just using one of these little sticky things so that I can hang it up on the wall, and they should be strong enough. We will see. And then I put it up in a little cluster with some of the other things that I've collected. And then finally I got our radiator cover back from my friend, adjusted. And so all that was left to do was just prime it and paint it in the same colour as paint on the walls.
I'm really happy with it. I feel like it's gone from being very stark and cold and slightly looking like an operating theatre to being really kind of warm and cozy, if that's possible for a toilet, with lots of like vintage charm. And that's really what I wanted to do. I didn't want to make it feel like a downstairs toilet. I wanted it to feel like it fitted in with the rest of the aesthetic in our home, while still making it renter friendly, which I have tried very hard to do. Can't really pick out my favourite part. I was gonna say the vintage side cabinet thing shelving, just because I think it has like loads of impact and kind of sets the tone for the rest of the space. But actually I feel like doing the window again also just made such a massive difference to the room. So yeah, I don't know, what's your favourite part of the transformation? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you have a downstairs bathroom, toilet, room, powder room. Let me know what you've done to it, because I feel like it can be quite a nice space to do something a little bit different, a little bit more quirky than maybe in the rest of the home, just because it's usually quite a small space and it's not a space that you spend loads of time in, so you can kind of do something a bit different. Not that mine's massively different and wild, but you know, just sort of pushing the limits within my preferred style. It's really good to be back with another room makeover. Thank you for being patient if you've been waiting for more of my videos to come out. It's been slow. There's been lots of different things going on. But if you are enjoying my channel, as usual, it would be so great to have you subscribe. I love getting your thoughts and ideas as well. So please do like and comment. And as I say, if you enjoy what I do, if you like my style, if you're interested in renter friendly makeovers and home decor, then do subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to follow along with more kind of everyday behind the scenes progress of what I'm doing in our home, but also, you know, just like general life, random things, then do follow on Instagram. My handle is just The Lovely Drawer. Very simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things. I will see you next time. Again, don't really know what that video will be, but we will find out. I'm working on about 3 different videos in the background at the moment, so yeah, your guess is as good as mine, but I will see you next time. Bye guys.